So, so The Strangers Chapter 3 was directed by Rennie Harlan, and it's the third and thankfully final chapter in this stupid Strangers trilogy, taking place immediately after the events of Strangers Chapter 2. Things happen. That's all I'm really going to say. So this was a movie that I was not looking forward to, not in the least bit. The first Strangers movie, not Strangers Chapter 1, but the very first Strangers movie, is at all, it's a decent horror movie. I think it's tension filled. I think it is creepy and it's unsettling. The whole idea about the unknown is very scary in this movie. I think it's conveyed very well in this movie. And while it's not, high art by any means, I still watch it every once in a while, and I watched it again to prepare for this movie. Did not watch Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 again because why would I? And this whole trilogy of movies, it's been really dumb. So they were like, okay, we're going to shoot all three of these movies back to back. Kind of like Lord of the Rings style. But these movies. The first part was basically just a rehash of the first movie. The second movie was a chase movie with a backstory to the strangers, which, yeah, that's what these characters need. Backstories. And this third movie, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what it was trying to do. I feel like there were no ideas about what it was trying to be. There's like some ideas about maybe some Stockholm Syndrome, but nothing in this movie is scary. Nothing in this movie is intense. And honestly, this may be the worst of the three. And that says a lot considering I gave the last one 0 out of 4 stars. So, is there anything in this movie that's good? There are some funny moments. There's like one shot in the movie that I was just kind of laughing at, but okay, also, I saw this movie opening day, so I saw this movie a couple days ago, and I was also the only person in the theater. So, yeah. There's a shot in the movie where it's one of the strangers. It's not spoilers. I don't care. The last stranger to be alive, who is the male stranger. He's holding someone hostage at one point, and basically holding him in front of the main character, played once again by Madeline Pesh. He's supposed to look intimidating, but you can see his eyes with a smile on his bag that's covering his head, and it is just so silly that I just had to laugh. That is it. The only thing in this movie that worked for me was a shot that probably wasn't intentionally supposed to be funny. That is how bad this movie is. Everything else in this movie is terrible. The acting in this movie is even worse than the last couple movies. I don't know how this is possible, but Madeline Pesh kept getting worse with these movies. I thought her performance in this movie was just non-existent. One of the worst performances in horror that I've ever seen. I could not care about her character at all, but again, she doesn't seem to care about her character. She doesn't seem to care about any of the things that are happening in this movie. Like, okay, so again, spoiler alert, I don't care. Her sister and her brother-in-law come to the town to check out what's going on because they haven't heard from her in a while. So they realize, oh, she's in this town and such. By the way, the whole plot goes nowhere because both of them get killed by the strangers. And also, Madeline Pesh's character, I think her name was Maya. I don't care. But, her sister is literally killed in front of one of the strangers. And Madeline Pesh, she shows no emotion whatsoever. You may be more psychopathic than these psychopathic killers. If you don't react to your own sibling getting murdered. Literally, that whole arc did not need to happen. Also, the choices they make in this movie, again, I don't like the idea of giving these strangers backstories because it defeats the whole purpose of the original movie to begin with. In the original movie, you didn't know anything about them, and it actually worked that you didn't know anything about them. But with the second movie and the third movie, yeah, you basically tell us, yeah, these characters actually had a backstory. This is what it's like. And it's even dumber in this movie than it was in the last movie. I am stunned by how dumb a lot of the choices they make are. Like, okay, so if you saw the second movie, which, I feel you because, yeah, the second movie was shit. Yeah, at the second movie, one of the strangers was killed, but yet they kind of kidnap Madeline Pesh's character again. and they kind of make her the new stranger in a way, which could be fascinating, but it's clear that these two strangers are complete morons. They are some of the dumbest horror movie villains I think I've seen in a while. Ugh. Like, why would you bring on this person who clearly hates you to do all this stuff? It's just baffling to me. I don't understand any of the choices those two characters made in this entire movie. I just don't care. Movie itself, it's not even scary. Like, there are a couple moments in this movie where it's like it's supposed to make you jump out of your seat. And admittedly, I did jump out of my seat, but I think that was less because I was scared by something that was on screen and more just because there was a loud noise, and I don't like that. Like, there's one point where it's in the beginning of the movie, a completely different character who is, by the way, not seen after this movie, and they never bring it up again. But I guess it's kind of leading into something they try to do later in the movie, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because nothing in this movie franchise matters. There's a moment where one of the strangers appears. There's a loud noise because the stranger is there. It's like, but then the character turns around to make you, and then she jumps, and it's like, I feel like you did this all wrong. Like, the strangers should first appear when she notices them and not when we see them. I feel like you just had that backwards. And that just kind of made me mad afterwards. But a lot of the movie is just loud noises for the sake of loud noises. Moments that are supposed to feel scary and intense, but are neither. And even the end just felt very, very anticlimactic. Like, it just felt like they needed an ending just for ending's sake. And it just felt like by the end, it looked like they would just wanted this movie to be done. I know for a fact I wanted this movie to be done before it was even over. I torture myself. I tortured myself watching this movie. It is, dare I say it, even worse than The Strangers Chapter 2. And that is saying a lot. There is a reason why this movie was released this past weekend. Obviously, the Olympics have started, and also it was Super Bowl weekend this past weekend. Something that movie studios like to do is they like to bury movies under weekends that nobody will go to. So usually Super Bowl weekend is usually one of those prime weekends. And the fact that they put this on there immediately, like within, like they just announced it was coming out on Super Bowl weekend like 2 months ago. It just basically went to show you that they didn't believe in this product. They didn't care about this movie. All they wanted to do was to get rid of it and just not deal with it anymore. It's going to be really hard to not think of a worse movie this year than The Strangers Chapter 2. Honestly, I don't think... Okay, Silent Hill was also pretty bad, but at the same time, I'm thinking there's no movie that's going to be worse than this. There's not going to be a chance. There's not going to be a movie that's a movie that's supposed to be scary that isn't scary. A movie that's funny even though it isn't supposed to be funny. A movie that's supposed to be intense, but I felt nothing while watching the movie. It is doing the exact opposite of what a movie's supposed to be doing. And I just was bored. I was just mad. I was just out of it by the end of the movie. There is nothing, absolutely nothing about this movie that works. It is a big pile of dog shit that you should not see in any capacity. Don't watch it in a theater. Don't watch it on a streaming service. Don't watch it on Blu-ray or DVD or whatever it comes out on. Don't even try to like rent it illegally, like download it illegally onto your laptop or smartphone or whatever, because that is also not worth it. This is a movie that is worth nothing. Nothing. I would say it's like maybe next to nothing. No, absolutely nothing. This movie sucks. I will give The Strangers Chapter 3 0 out of 4 stars. Skip it. So, what is your least favorite horror movie franchise? Comment down below. Subscribe to the channel. This is Pat. And